The envelope trembled in Michael's hands as he tore it open, the sterile scent of the hospital lab clinging to the paper like a ghost. "This can't be right," he whispered, his voice cracking like thunder in the quiet room, as the DNA results screamed the impossible. He wasn't who he thought he was. Across the city, Daniel stared at his own identical report, his world shattering with the realization that the family he'd loved for 28 years wasn't his by blood, and the stranger named Michael was. Michael Thompson had always felt like an outsider in his own skin, even in the bustling streets of Brooklyn where he'd grown up. The son of Irish immigrants who ran a corner deli, he was the tall, lanky kid with olive skin and dark curls that didn't match his freckled parents or his red-haired siblings. "You're our miracle," his mom would say, hugging him tight after another schoolyard fight where kids teased him about looking adopted. But he wasn't adopted, at least that's what they'd always told him. Now, at 28, working as a graphic designer in a hipster agency in Williamsburg, that old itch of not belonging had turned into a full-blown crisis. It started with a routine health check. Michael's doctor suggested a genetic test for hereditary risks after his father had a heart scare. "Just to be safe," the doc said. Michael shrugged it off, mailed in the swab, and forgot about it until the results pinged his email. Ancestry matches flooded in, but one stood out, a 99.9% sibling match with a guy named Daniel Rivera from Queens. Not just any match, the kind that screamed identical twins or something impossible. Michael's heart pounded as he dug deeper. Daniel's profile photo showed a face eerily similar to his own, but with sharper features, like a mirror image refined by different hardships. He messaged Daniel that night, his fingers flying over the keyboard in a mix of terror and curiosity. "Hey, this is weird, but our DNA matches say we're related. Like, closely. You up for a chat?" Daniel responded within minutes. "Dude, same here. What the hell is going on?" They met the next day at a neutral spot, a coffee shop in Midtown Manhattan, the kind with exposed brick and overpriced lattes. Michael arrived first, nursing a black coffee, his leg bouncing under the table. When Daniel walked in, it was like seeing a ghost. Same height, same build, but Daniel had a tattoo peeking from his collar, a phoenix rising, and eyes that held a guarded intensity Michael recognized from his own reflections. They talked for hours. Daniel was a mechanic in Astoria, raised by Puerto Rican parents in a tight-knit Latino community. He fixed cars by day and played guitar in a local band by night. "My folks always said I was their little surprise," Daniel admitted, stirring his espresso. Pale skin, blue eyes didn't fit the family pic. But hey, genetics are weird, right? Michael laughed bitterly. "Yeah, weird." As they compared childhood stories, the pieces clicked. Born on the same day, in the same hospital St. Mary's in Brooklyn. A mix-up, switched at birth? The idea was absurd, straight out of a soap opera, but the DNA didn't lie. That first meeting sparked something electric. Michael's life had been a string of failed relationships, women who said he was too distant, men he'd hooked up with in secret during college, burying his confusion under work and whiskey. He'd come out to his family 2 years ago, met with awkward acceptance from his parents and outright silence from his brother. Daniel, on the other hand, was openly gay, having navigated the scene in Queens with a mix of bravado and heartbreak. "Lost a boyfriend last year," he confessed over their third coffee. "Cheated on me with my best friend." Trust issues. Man, Michael felt a pull, a connection deeper than blood. Was it the shared mystery, or something more? As days turned to weeks, they delved into records. Hospital archives from 1997 were dusty and incomplete, but a sympathetic nurse whispered about a chaotic night shift. 2 babies born minutes apart, tags mixed in the nursery rush. Michael's parents were devastated when he broke the news. "You're our son." No matter what, his mom sobbed, but the doubt crept in. Daniel's family reacted with anger, accusing the hospital of negligence. Lawsuits loomed, but amid the chaos, Michael and Daniel found solace in each other. Late-night texts turned to calls, then meetups in Central Park, where they'd walk under the autumn leaves, sharing dreams and fears. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the skyline, Daniel stopped on a bridge, turning to Michael with a vulnerability that made his chest ache. "What if we're meant to find each other, like fate or some shit?" Michael hesitated, then leaned in, their lips brushing in a tentative kiss. It was fireworks, kitsch tin, raw, forbidden in its intensity. But as their romance bloomed, shadows lurked. Michael's ex, a guy named Alex from his agency, wasn't over him. And Daniel's family, traditional and protective, whispered warnings about this white boy messing with your head. The lawsuit against St. Mary's Hospital dragged on like a bad dream, pulling both families into a whirlwind of depositions and DNA retests. Michael's Brooklyn clan, the Thompsons, clung to normalcy. Sunday dinners with corned beef and cabbage, his dad cracking jokes to mask the pain. But the cracks showed. His sister, Erin, avoided eye contact, muttering about stolen years. Across the bridge in Queens, the Riveras exploded with emotion. Daniel's mom lighting candles at church, praying for clarity, while his dad paced, ranting about gringo hospitals screwing over minorities. Amid the legal storm, Michael and Daniel's bond deepened. They stole moments in dive bars in the village, where the thump of bass drowned out their worries. Daniel's hands were calloused from wrenching engines, a stark contrast to Michael's ink-stained fingers from sketching logos. Yet, when they touched, it was magic. Langman whispers in the dark. Bodies entwined in Daniel's cramped apartment overlooking the East River. "You're the only thing that makes sense right now," Michael murmured one night, tracing the phoenix tattoo on Daniel's chest. Daniel smiled, but his eyes held shadows. "Yeah, but what if this is just the trauma talking? We're basically brothers by blood." "Mike." The word brothers hung like a guillotine. The DNA confirmed they weren't twins, just 2 babies swapped in a nursery blunder. But the taboo lingered, fueling gossip. Michael's friends teased about forbidden love, but it stung. Then came the betrayal. Alex, Michael's ex, a slick marketer with a vendetta, dug into the story. Jealous of Michael's new mystery guy, he leaked details to a tabloid blogger. Switched at birth. Brooklyn boy's shocking gay affair with his real brother? The headline screamed online, twisting facts into scandal. Michael's phone blew up, reporters at his door. His boss calling a meeting about professional image. Daniel took it hardest. "How could you let this happen?" he yelled during a heated argument in Prospect Park. Leaves crunched under their feet as tempers flared. "I didn't. Alex is a psycho. He hacked my emails or something." But doubt seeded. Daniel's family, already wary, forbade him from seeing Michael. "He's not family. Mijo, he's confusion," his mom pleaded. Isolated, Daniel spiraled, hitting the bottle after shifts, strumming sad chords on his guitar. Michael fought back, hiring a lawyer to sue for defamation, but the damage was done. Public scrutiny turned their private romance into a spectacle. Yet, in stolen glances at court hearings, their eyes met with unspoken longing. One rainy night, Michael showed up at Daniel's garage, soaked and desperate. "I can't do this without you," he said, voice breaking. Daniel pulled him inside, their kiss tasting of oil and tears. They made love on a makeshift bed of blankets, the storm outside mirroring their turmoil. "We'll get through this," Daniel promised, but the words felt fragile. As winter blanketed New York, the case escalated. Expert witnesses testified about nursery protocols, fingers pointing at overworked nurses. The families clashed in waiting rooms, Thompson's accusing Riveras of playing the race card, Riveras retorting about privilege blinding you. Michael and Daniel became pawns, torn between loyalties. High Treo built when Daniel discovered a hidden letter from his biological mother, Michael's mom, written years ago, suspecting the switch but burying it for fear of losing her son. The revelation shattered Daniel. She knew, and did nothing? He confronted Michael in a heated cafe meetup. Tears streamed as accusations flew. "Your family's been lying to us both," Michael defended, but the rift widened. In a moment of weakness, Daniel sought comfort from an old flame, a guitarist named Rico, leading to a one-night stand he instantly regretted. Guilt ate at him, but he confessed to Michael over a tense dinner in Little Italy. "It meant nothing. I was lost." Michael's face crumpled, betrayal slicing deep. "How could you? After everything." They parted in anger, the city lights blurring through tears as Michael wandered the streets. Months passed in a haze of silence. Michael threw himself into work, designing campaigns for queer rights organizations, channeling his pain into advocacy. The lawsuit settled out of court, a hefty payout split between families, but no apologies could mend the emotional wreckage. He moved to a tiny studio in Chelsea, surrounding himself with art and activism, attending pride events where the rainbow flags waved like promises of healing. Yet, every blue-eyed stranger on the subway reminded him of Daniel. Daniel, meanwhile, quit his band and focused on the garage, inheriting it from a retiring uncle. He dated casually, but nothing stuck. Ghosts of Michael's touch haunted him. His family pushed him toward therapy, where he unpacked layers of identity crisis. "Am I Daniel Rivera or someone else?" he asked his counselor. The sessions unearthed buried resentment toward the switch, but also gratitude for the life he'd lived. One session, he admitted his love for Michael. "It's not just the drama, it's him." His laugh, his fire. Fate intervened at a charity gala in Manhattan, benefiting hospital reform. Michael was there as a speaker, sharing his story to a crowd of donors and activists. "This switch didn't just swap babies, it swapped destinies," he said, voice steady but eyes scanning the room. Spotting Daniel in the back, suited up and looking sharper than ever, his heart skipped. After the speech, they collided in the lobby. "You came," Michael said, breathless. Daniel nodded. "Couldn't stay away." "Your words." They hit home. They talked until the venue emptied, spilling onto the glittering streets. "I messed up," Daniel confessed. "That night with Rico, it was stupid, a way to numb the pain. But you're the one I want." Michael hesitated, the betrayal still raw, but the pull was undeniable. They walked to the High Line, elevated above the city, where fairy lights twinkled like stars. Under the night sky, they kissed again, deeper, more assured. "Forgive me," Daniel whispered. Michael nodded, tears mingling. "We forgive each other. For everything." Their reunion ignited a passionate phase. Weekends in the Hamptons, borrowed from Michael's boss, where they'd lounge on beaches, sharing stories of what-ifs. What if they'd grown up together? What if the switch never happened? But reality intruded. Michael's biological family, the Riveras, reached out tentatively. Awkward dinner in Queens. Rice and beans, laughter mixed with tears. Daniel's mom hugged Michael. "You look just like my abuelita," she said, voice thick. Similarly, the Thompsons welcomed Daniel with open arms, his dad teaching him to grill steaks in the backyard. Yet, conflicts simmered. Michael's activism clashed with Daniel's blue-collar world. Debates over politics heated their nights. And Alex lurked, sending anonymous threats, jealous rage bubbling. The climax hit when Alex confronted them at a bar in Hell's Kitchen. "You think you can just replace me?" he slurred, shoving Daniel. Fists flew. Michael stepped in, taking a punch that split his lip. Police arrived. Alex arrested for assault. In the ER, as stitches closed the wound, Daniel held Michael's hand. "This ends now. We're stronger than this crap." The incident bonded them further, but forced introspection. "We need to build our own family," Michael said one dawn, watching the sun rise over the Hudson. Daniel agreed, proposing therapy together. Sessions revealed deep-seated fears, Michael's abandonment issues, Daniel's trust wounds. Through it, their love grew, Nan Van, resilient, a testament to human connection beyond blood. As spring bloomed, they planned a trip cross-country, symbolizing new beginnings. Driving Route 66 in a rented Mustang, they left New York's chaos behind. The road trip was their escape, a ribbon of asphalt unwinding America's heartland. From the neon glow of Chicago to the dusty plains of Oklahoma, Michael and Daniel rediscovered each other. Stops at diners where waitresses called them honey, sharing greasy burgers and dreams. In Santa Fe, under adobe skies, they hiked canyons, the red rocks echoing their laughter. "This is us, free," Daniel said, pulling Michael close for a sunset kiss. But the past trailed like exhaust fumes. Calls from families interrupted idols. Thompsons planning a reunion barbecue, Riveras inviting them for Navidad early. Michael felt torn, his identity a mosaic of both worlds. "Who am I really?" he confided in Daniel during a starry night in Arizona. Daniel traced his jaw. "You're Michael, the man I love." Blood doesn't define that. Their intimacy deepened. Bodies and souls intertwining in motel rooms with creaky beds, the hum of semis outside a lullaby. Conflict reared in Las Vegas, Sin City's lights amplifying tensions. A drunken argument over gambling, Michael's risk-averse nature clashing with Daniel's impulsive bets. "You're holding back. Like always," Daniel accused. Michael fired back. "And you're reckless. Just like with Rico." Old wounds reopened, leading to a night apart. Michael wandering the strip, Daniel nursing regrets in a casino bar. Dawn found them reconciling on a balcony, overlooking the faux Eiffel Tower. "We can't let ghosts win," Michael said. They vowed communication, sealing it with tender lovemaking. Arriving in California, the Pacific's crash waves mirrored their emotional tides. In San Francisco, they explored the Castro district, hand in hand amid rainbow crosswalks. Inspiration struck. Michael sketched a graphic novel about their story, Daniel composing a soundtrack. Our legacy, they called it. But betrayal struck again, from within. Daniel's cousin, jealous of the settlement money, leaked family secrets to a podcaster, twisting the narrative into greedy gays exploiting a tragedy. The backlash hit hard: online trolls, hate mail. Michael's agency dropped him, citing controversy. Depressed, he withdrew, but Daniel rallied. Screw them. We'll build our own path. They moved to LA temporarily, crashing with Daniel's bandmate. There, in Hollywood's grind, Michael freelanced. Daniel tuned cars for celebs. Their love, tested, emerged stronger. Cam suck nights of vulnerability. Lang man gestures like surprise picnics on Malibu beaches. High Treo peaked at a family summit back east. Both clans gathered in a neutral Jersey Shore house, tensions thick as fog. Accusations flew. You stole our boy. You ignored the signs. Michael and Daniel mediated, sharing their journey. This switch broke us, but it also united us, Michael said. Tears flowed, hugs tentative at first, then genuine. Forgiveness bloomed person van in its raw humanity. As summer faded, they returned to New York, committed. Daniel proposed in Central Park, where it all began, on one knee with a simple band. Marry me, Mike. Let's write our own ending. Michael said yes, the city applauding with honks and cheers. Planning the wedding fused traditions, Irish toasts, Puerto Rican dances. Friends from both worlds attended, Alex notably absent after a restraining order. Vows exchanged under Brooklyn Bridge lights, promising eternity amid the chaos they'd conquered. Yet, life wasn't fairy tale perfect. Careers rebuilt slowly, therapy ongoing. But in quiet moments, cooking together, walking their adopted dog, they found peace. Years unfolded like chapters in their unfinished book. Michael and Daniel's graphic novel, Switched Souls, became an indie hit, optioned for a Netflix series. It humanized their saga, sparking dialogues on identity and love in America's diverse tapestry. Royalties funded a foundation for switched-at-birth families, offering counseling and legal aid, Nan Van legacy etched in lives mended. Their marriage thrived in a cozy brownstone in Harlem, a blend of cultures, salsa music mingling with Celtic tunes, walls adorned with Michael's art and Daniel's guitars. They adopted a son, Luca, from foster care, a mixed-race boy with eyes full of wonder. Our miracle, they echoed their parents' words, raising him with stories of resilience. Family holidays alternated. Thanksgivings in Brooklyn with turkey and stuffing, Christmases in Queens with pernil and coquito. The Thompsons and Riveras, once rivals, became allies, grandparents doting on Luca, burying old grudges. But scars lingered. Anniversaries of the DNA reveal brought melancholia, quiet reflections on lost years. Michael battled anxiety, Daniel occasional doubts. Therapy helped, as did their unbreakable bond. In bed, whispers of "I choose you" reaffirmed their choice over fate. One crisp autumn day, echoing their first meeting, they revisited St. Mary's Hospital, not in anger, but advocacy. Speaking at a reform panel, they shared, "This place broke families, but love rebuilt them." Applause thundered, but the real victory was personal. Walking out, hand in hand, Daniel squeezed Michael's. Ready for the next adventure? That adventure came with Luca's questions about his 2 grandmas and 2 grandpas. Explaining the switch, they emphasized love over biology. Family is who holds you through storms, Michael said. Luca nodded, hugging them tight. As they aged, gray threading hair, their story inspired others. Pride parades saw them marching, symbols of queer triumph amid adversity. Daniel's band reunited, touring small venues with songs of redemption. Michael's designs graced billboards, promoting equality. In twilight years, on a porch overlooking the Hudson, they reflected. If not for that switch, Daniel mused. Michael smiled. We'd have found each other anyway. Souls like ours? Inevitable. The end wasn't tragic, but beautifully human. Lives intertwined, lessons learned. When Daniel passed first, from a gentle heart fade, Michael held him, whispering eternal love. At the funeral, families united in grief and gratitude. Michael lived on, telling their tale to Luca's kids, ensuring the legacy endured. In America's melting pot, their story stood as testament. From betrayal's ashes rose love's phoenix, kitsched yet tender, forever etched in hearts.